Hanford Nuclear Reservation managers today said despite a rash of worker illnesses, there has been no exposure to chemical vapors.
Environmental specialist Gary Chittum went on a safety tour today and learned there is no explanation for what did make workers sick. It's a story that's new at 6:30.
A Hanford nuclear waste tank farm is a uniquely dangerous place. Workers do their jobs above underground tanks filled with millions of gallons of the world's deadliest mixture of nuclear and chemical waste. It's a place where knowing which way the wind blows can save your life.
In the tank headspace, which is basically the place between the waste surface and the top of the dome, there are concentrations of vapors in all these categories.
Tank farm manager Tom Fletcher explains how the chemical vapors in the tank escape to the surface through vent pipes, where they sample it.
There have been none of those samples taken to date that have exceeded that occupational exposure limit.
I felt kind of dizzy, like almost, like I couldn't walk.
During a recent King 5 investigation, workers described the effects of exposures they suffered in tank farms.
It's just like I can't get a good deep breath. It's like a real shallow breath all the time.
By every indication that we have, our workers are not exposed to any vapors.
0 CO, 0 NH3, 0 LEL. 20.902.
Managers say their chemical detectors have never picked up exposures above safe standards in the tank farms while workers were present. They showed off an array of gadgets that constantly monitor the air and the workers.
Then there's this device, which really does get personal. The workers will attach these sensors right up by their mouth, and then analysts can look at it to find out exactly what they've been breathing.
Managers say these monitors were being used at the time of the recent exposures and recorded no dangerous levels. But then, how can so many workers get sick at the same time in some of the same places? The managers say they don't know, and they really don't know how to make sure it doesn't happen again. Our guides demonstrated why requiring workers to wear full protective gear could create more hazards than they're designed to prevent.
If you had to walk around 85 degrees carrying this for a period of time, dressed like this, it's hard on your body.
They point out even lightweight masks can block a worker's vision, creating other risks. So it's a trade-off. Managers say they can only use full gear as a last resort and must depend on their monitors to protect the workers. But with 38 recent reports by workers who feel they were exposed, it's clear something is making workers sick. And some workers have told us they will never be convinced they weren't exposed and aren't still suffering from it. Near Richland, Gary Chittum, King 5 News.
Hanford officials emphasize they believe the workers are suffering from symptoms of exposure, but they can find no evidence it is happening inside the tank farms.